Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this lesson, we are going to review how to name and classify triangles. Here we have a triangle and we are going to name this triangle using the vertices here. So here's the first vertex, the second, and the third. And we are going to name this triangle using three uppercase letters. We cannot use one uppercase letters, two uppercase letters to name triangles. They have to be three uppercase. We cannot use lowercase letters. For example, I cannot name this triangle using A here and B here and C here. We cannot do that. It's not allowed. Okay. So in geometry, we name, and in algebra, in math generally, we name triangles using three uppercase letters. So I'm going to name this triangle as, I'm going to start from here, A, B, C. It could be different letters that you choose. Okay. All right. And they don't have to be consecutive like this. They don't have to be A, B, C. It could be A, D, J. All right. So, but I'm just choosing the very easy first three letters of the alphabet. All right. So I have A, B, C. And in order to write this, the name, we would say this is triangle A, B, C. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. So I'm starting from A and moving to B, and then choosing C as the third letter, and then coming back to A. So this naming is called clockwise. Clockwise naming. Okay. So this is clockwise naming, but then we need to write the short form of triangle ABC. So this is what we do. So we use the symbol for triangles like that. This tiny little triangle, and then write A, B, C. We could have named this triangle beginning from B and still name it clockwise. So in that case, it would be triangle BCA. Or we could name starting from letter C, and that would be triangle CAB. And this is how you can name this triangle clockwise. Let's go ahead and try naming this triangle, and name this triangle counterclockwise, starting from counterclockwise, starting from A. So again, we're going to start from A and say triangle, start from A and go in the opposite direction. All right, like that, and like that. So we triangle A, C, B, or we can name starting from C. It'll be triangle C, B, A, or we can name starting from B, and it'll be triangle B, A, C. So these are the different ways that you can name this triangle. All right, let's go ahead and classify triangles. To classify triangles, we will do that by angles, okay, and sides. When we say by angles, it is what I mean. So we know how to name this triangle. Okay, let's go ahead and just name this triangle again, A, B, and C. So we have triangle ABC. And notice that angle A is acute. Angle B is also acute, and angle C is also acute. So when you have all three angles of the triangle acute angles, so you will call this triangle, or you would classify the triangle as an acute triangle. And remember that an acute angle is greater than 0 degrees but less than 90 degrees. Greater than 0 degrees and less than 90 degrees. So this is uh, the definition for acute angles. So, and you can see that angle A, angle B, and angle C are all acute angles. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. So for the next, we see we have a right triangle. And in order for us to have a right triangle, we need to have a 90 degree here. So without this, we will not know if it's a right triangle, no matter how nice it looks. So never assume that you have a right triangle, except you're told that it is, or you see this square corner here, okay? Let's go ahead and name that triangle ABC, and we can see that one of the angles, okay, is 90 degrees. So the measure of angle A is equal to 90 degrees exactly. So a right triangle has one of its angles equal to 90 degrees. All right. And we're going to move to the next example. All right. We're going to do obtuse angles. So from obtuse angles, an obtuse angle X, we know that it is always greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. And we can see clearly that if we name this triangle A, B, C, angle B appears to be greater than 90 degrees. So we are going to name this triangle an obtuse triangle because one of its angles is an angle that is greater than 90 degrees, but it's less than 180 degrees. All right. So next we are going to name a triangle uh, called equiangular triangle. All right. So for this, equi means equal. Okay. Angular means angle, equal angle. So all three angles of this triangle must be congruent to each other, and meaning that they must be equal. So this is A, B, C, and we can see that angle A, angle B, and angle C are all having the same measure. And if we know that the sum of angles of a triangle equals 180 degrees, we will just divide the 180 by 3 to know that each of the angle, each of the three angles will be 60 degrees. All right, so for equiangular triangles, each angle is exactly 60 degrees, and all three angles are congruent to each other and they're equal to each other. All right, so we are going to classify the triangles on the right hand side by the sides of the triangle. So again, let's go ahead and name this triangle A, B, and C. In order to classify triangles by sides, we have to mark the sides instead. So we're going to mark the side AB 1, and we're going to mark the side BC a double. So here we're using tallies. Okay, tally marks. For angles, remember, we are using arc marks. So if you have not seen some of my videos where I talked about how you mark angles or identify angles, we use arc marks. All right, so for AC, we are going to mark that with three tallies. So 1, 2, 3. So this is how you know a scalene triangle. So none of the three sides is congruent to the other. So they're all different sides. So AB is different from BC and CA. So they're not the same at all. Very different values. For example, like if I have 5 here and I have 4 here and I have 6 here, what that means is I have a scalene triangle. So I have 5 units, 4 units, and 6 units. So that's how you would know that this is a scalene triangle. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the next. I'm changing my color to blue. For isosceles triangle, we say a triangle is isosceles if it has at least at least two congruent sides. At least two equal sides. So, but in the future, we're going to be using the right vocabulary, so which is called congruent. Okay, congruent means having the same measure. Okay, same shape, same measure. All right, here I'm going to put A here and B and C, so which means the isosceles triangle here is triangle ABC and it has two congruent sides. Okay, and the third side AC would be a different side. So there are two congruent sides at least. One thing that I would like you to observe is what do you think would happen to angle A and angle C? So observe that they will be congruent. So an isosceles triangle has two congruent triangles, and those triangles are called base angles. Very important. So please note that the two congruent angles of an isosceles triangle is called the base angles, okay? And this is what you call the vertex angle. So I'm going to mark it different because I know now it is different. So I'm going to put two arc marks to differentiate that. So this one here is called the vertex angle, okay? Vertex angle. All right, so let's go ahead and do equilateral triangle. So equilateral, so which means equal. Lateral means sides. So sides. Okay, equilateral, equal sides. So here we want the triangle, all the three sides for the triangle to be all congruent. So that's why I'm going to mark all the three sides equal. All right, so you can see I have the same number of tally for each side. So AB is equal to BC and the measure of CA as well. So all three are congruent to each other, or the lengths are equal. So this is what you call an equilateral triangle. But I want you to make a connection, begin to observe some connections between isosceles triangles and equilateral triangles. So this triangle here has all three sides congruent. So which also means that it meets the definition for isosceles triangles. So that's why they always say that an equilateral triangle is also an isosceles triangle. Okay, it's only much more special because all three sides are congruent. But not all isosceles triangles are equilateral. Okay, for example, this example we have here is an isosceles triangle strictly. It is not equilateral, but this example here is equilateral. All right, so we need to know how to differentiate them. Okay, so another observation that I see here, observe that because all three sides are congruent, it makes all three angles congruent. So three base angles will also be congruent. So, and we'll also have 60 degrees each. So this is the connection between naming angles by sides and naming triangles by sides and by angles. All right, so you can see the connection between equiangular triangle and equilateral triangle. And this is going to bring me to the end of this lesson. I hope you would subscribe and join me in the next videos that I'm going to post. Thank you very much.